Last month, the chiefs of the big three auto companies flew to Washington on their corporate jets to demand money from Congress. It was a disaster. They were sent back home and told to come back when they had a new plan. Well, they're back, and the race is on to show just how humble and deserving they can be.
Here we go. Here's Chrysler.
The CEO's effort to ingratiate themselves began even before they reached the hearing room. They showed up in new hybrid and electronic models to prove good corporate citizenship. Bob Nardelli, the Chrysler chairman, began to make his case right there on the pavement.
I can tell you in my 38 years of business, I've never attended a more important session, where more is relying upon both the House and the Senate, hopefully making an informed decision on the factual data that we've provided and understanding the systemic impact of not providing the funding that we're requesting, not only on the auto industry, but across a broad range of industries affecting our economy.
Inside the hearing room, the senators were determined to humiliate the automakers to the maximum extent possible.
You flew up here before, I understand that, and you drove up here. Did you drive, or did you have a driver? Did you drive a little and ride a little? And secondly, I guess, are you going to drive back?
The executives were prepared with contrite and humble replies.
Yes, sir. And I did have a colleague ride, and we rotated. We drove, left Tuesday night and drove until midnight, and then got up at 5:30 the next morning and drove the rest of the way in. And we did rotate, and I do plan to drive back.
We carpooled. I drove, and I'm driving back.
I drove with a colleague. We split it up about 50-50. We drove down yesterday, and I'm going to drive back myself Friday or Saturday.
One senator, John Tester of Montana, became so testy that he bungled his geography.
I'll just tell you, whether it's millions of dollars that you have in Mexico or whether it's this, if we allocate this money and 2 weeks from now you guys announce an expansion of a manufacturing plant in Michigan, I'm going to be unhappy.
Mexico.
In Mexico, okay. What'd I say? I said Michigan, didn't I?
Other lawmakers chose to play matchmaker, proposing Chrysler and GM tie the knot.
Chrysler doesn't really want to be a standalone business. I mean, that's well documented. The fact is that basically what your plan is about is you want to hang around long enough so that you can date somebody and hopefully get married soon before you run out of money.
The senators promised that while they didn't know what they would do to help, they would do something.
We're not going to leave town without trying. I'm not a miracle worker. No one is here. But I'm not going to pack a bag and leave and go back to Connecticut. I'm going to stay here and try and get this done. So I thank all of you for being here, and we look forward to your continuing cooperation and to work with us. The committee will stand adjourned.
Thus, in their race for a federal bailout, did the executives prove the biblical proverb, "The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but riches go to he who sucks up to his senator."